right, today we're going to bring a drone, and this drone has a 3-axis gimbal. It also has a 4K camera built in, and it has up to 75 minutes of flight. That's not including one battery. That's using all the batteries included. Now, this one could go all the way to 11,000 feet away from the remote. I'm going to test it out. I'm going to take it out to fly. But first of all, let's see what you get when you get something like this. So let's open it up. Well, if you guys notice, first thing that you get is you get the actual case itself. So right now, drones are pretty big in the market right now, but this one right here has everything you're going to include. Everything's included, of course, so you don't have to buy additional accessories like other drones. This one comes with everything you see in here, especially the batteries. They're really heavy-duty batteries right now. That's probably the heaviest thing, the batteries, all right? So we're going to put these on the side, and we're going to unlock everything because everything has cover and well protected, well sealed in here too. All right, let's take a look at the controller itself first. All right, the controller itself has the antennas here. You're gonna extend them when you're using it. Of course, it has a return home, power on, and then flight level up. This is actually to return home. All right, so we're gonna test all this out in the field. Now, there are a couple other features you should be aware on the top. Let me flip it around. Here's the actual USB Type A that you have to plug in. These are all camera rotations, if you guys can see that, all right? There's a couple of camera rotations. I like the antennas. They're pretty much flexible. I like them, but be careful because some of the stuff, if you're rotating it wrong, they could break apart. So just make sure they overlap each other like that when you put them away. Turning on the button, it's simple as just holding down the button. It tells you how much charge you have. Built-in batteries, you don't have to worry about anything else, taking them out, AA batteries or anything like that. All you got to do is worry about charging it. So turn it off. That's the system. Turn it off. And that's it. So we're going to move on to the next problem. All right, let's take a look at the actual drone itself, all right? Now, before I start on the drone, I'm going to let you guys know that they have all the inputs here. This is going to be for you actually phone to the actual controller. They do have a Type-C, the Thunderbolt, and also a micro USB. So it's pretty much made for every type of phone that you have out there. On the actual drone itself, the batteries are going to be a little different because they're USB. They're the micro USB that you're going to have to plug in, right? That's the only difference. It's not Type-C. You're going to have to use the old-fashioned micro USB. So they do give you the screws for the actual propellers. If you lose them, here's the actual propeller screws, right? And when you open it up, be careful. I will put them in a little tiny Ziploc or anything you have and put them in the bag and keep them in there. Of course, the extra propellers. And they do give you extra screws in there. That's where they actually got loose. And then, of course, they give you the instructions and they tell you the manual, how to fly and so forth, and not to go certain heights. Also, besides the manual, I want you to understand there's different laws in every state regarding drones, all right? So just make sure you are valid through those state laws that you're going to be driving or flying over certain areas. Understand that you can't fly this drone just anywhere. You have to actually understand your local laws in order to fly this thing now. So let's go ahead and take a look at the rest of the stuff. Now, they give you the manual and the controllers, how to control this stuff, how to download the application, if you guys can see it, how to get the software manual. Out of the box, you are going to need probably a firmware upgrade on either on the controller or on the actual system itself. Make sure you keep everything clean from the actual lenses. This is a laser scanner, pretty much. There's different cameras here and a laser system that tells it for the obstacle. And we are going to test out a couple items here. Very important that in order to charge the actual controller, this is a micro USB that you need to charge. Now on the other side, don't get confused. This is where you actually plug in the actual phone to the actual module or your controller, right? Just to be aware. Now, on the drone itself, it does have a cover base for the camera, right? You just remove this when you're out in the field because it has a gimbal for a 3-way axis gimbal. Also, the memory card, you need to provide your own SD card, your micro SD card in here. That goes in this slot here, or you could directly record from your phone, but from the phone at the distance, you're going to lose a little reception. So it's best to keep an actual chip in here and then another additional one if you want to record for later down the line on your pocket. Carry extra ones because they do get filled, especially at 4K. Before taking it out, make sure you download the app, all right? And here's the app that you need to download. All right, let's take a look at the actual controllers of the actual drone. So here on the right hand, if I'm going to click on it, if you guys can see, this is where you actually choose the device that you currently have. And right now we do have a TF15-EX. and that's what we're going to choose. I don't have my drone connected here. I'm just going to show you some of the stuff you can do on the actual device. So we're going to go ahead and hit controller. On the actual controller, this is where you actually start taking flight. Once you know that your drone is connected to your actual device here, you're going to see it here. You're going to be able to change, take pictures and record. Now here on this part right here, you get to take pictures, photographs, record, time lapse, and of course other features too. Now just by hitting the button, it'll record directly to your actual phone, or if you have an SD card, you could go ahead and tell it that it's an SD card install, and then you could format from here too also. Now here, it's going to actually give you the directions of where you're actually at. If you hit this, it'll bring a whole map of the whole system. So let me see if I can bring it. This is going to be able to give you the actual location where you're at, right? It's going to bring up Google Map. And this is how you actually teach the drone how to fly around in certain things. Now, it uses the actual Google Map to find out if you're okay to fly in certain locations, because there are some limitations on flying, especially near airports and other facilities and other. All right, let's take a look at some of the controller here. So here on the menu, you get a GPS follow. This is basically you set up a route for the actual drone, and it'll take it, it'll fly through it, and you can record. This is hands-free pretty much. This is something that's very simple to use. Just map it out. Just make sure you know, like you said, your locations where you're at, right? Image follow, this is a great thing. It tracks the humans. Anything you want to track it, you just do a little square within the actual system, and it'll track it. Now this one, intercept point. This is basically, it's going to do a roundabout of exactly where you're standing in, or a certain center point. So this is not a bad idea if you want to ever showcase yourself in the middle of something, right? Now, route rules, all right, this is basic. You teach the system, you know, there's mountains and so forth. Gestures, you know, this is take pictures. You take pictures, you stop, get recorded in certain things, you know, zoom in. You got sports mode. This is basic. It's like if you change this, your device is going to be a little bit unstable with air and everything else. So you got to make sure that you're aware of that stuff, because rotating right now, when you're actually flying the device, it's not as fast as you think it is. But if you put smart, it starts rotating real quick. Far fly is just basically, it's going to zoom out of here. Skyfly, it was automatically, it's going to take off. Spindle is going to spin. It does everything it tells you. Cruise control and so forth. Live video, you could go live on your directly, but this is going to need a line of sight on mostly. Make sure that your drone's capable of handling the distance, because everything is going to be lag on your phone if you're going to do live streaming, especially because your phone is also going to send us a signal to the live stream. All right, see those three dots? This is where we're going to go see the functions, more functions in here. All right, this is where you actually set up certain things. Are you a beginner? Yes. You say yes or no. If you're not, it's going to unstabilize certain things, you know, because people actually don't like the stabilization and they like to take control of the flight. This is for more advanced personnel, but you could always take that off, right? Distances between you and the controller, you can set up your waypoints in it. And if you hit a certain altitude, the device will not move from there. It would just basically stays fixed as it is. So you have to remember this and adjust this as you work with your actual device. All right. Track. This is basically the flight level. It's just pretty much a log of what you've been doing on your actual system. All right. PTS adjustment. This is very simple because you do have to calibrate your actual drone once in a while. Set it up. It does all the calibration. Just follow the steps, you know. This is where you actually do a couple other things too. Pitch rolls and so forth. Detection updates and factory resets. That's pretty much what you get on this there. All right. So we got our remote. Get your plug. We're going to unlock it. Make sure you have it unlocked first, and make sure you give it access to all your stuff, your phone, your camera, your location. It needs the GPS to control. All right, we're going to take off now. There it is. Go straight. Pitching is simple. Oh, you guys can see it's very stable. All right. Pitching forward. Oh. Pitching back. You want to record that one too? Go up, go down. We're going to record too, so let's go ahead and record. It's taking a picture. Change it to, oops, go back. Video. We're changing it to video. and record into the phone. You can send it out, and I'm looking at the actual features. And if you want, you can always hit the button to come back. It's going back home. Exactly where we're landing it. We'll level it up again. .6 of you are not subscribers in my channel. I hope that the content helps you out and that you find it very useful. And I hope you hit the like and subscribe.